So folks, first activity we're going to do around the table to kick us off is we use, and most of you will know this, but for those that don't know this, when we talk about team members in EBS and ourselves, so when we talk about people, we have this language that we use where we talk about their heights, right? Not their real height, but their theoretical kind of height in a business, right? And we talk about people 4-footers, 5-footers, 6-footers, 7-footers, this type of language. And where it comes from, just so you know, is has anybody seen a team of 7-foot-high basketballers play a team of 4-foot-high basketballers? Has anybody seen that, folks? Yes or no? Well, I've never actually seen it, right? But who's going to win that game, folks? The 7-footers or the 4-footers? Don't give me, 4-footers are small and they'll run around, all this rubbish. Let me ask you this, if you're betting on it, who are you betting on? The 7s or the 7-footers, right? Every time. So, and when we talk about that, we talk about, 7-footers, 6-footers really being to be a true blue 7-footer or a 6-footer in the organisation. We talk about two things. One being their skill level, so how good they are from a skill perspective. And the other one being more around behaviour and willingness and this type of thing, right? And one of the things that you should even be asking is, as the owner of your business, what height are you as the owner of your business? Are you a 4-foot, 5-foot, 6-foot or 7-foot owner, right? But the first activity I want to do is, what's the effect if you've got a true blue 6- and 7-footer in your organisation, right? So picture that person right now, somebody that you love, that you don't want to lose. What's the effect on the business if you lose a highly valuable 6- or 7-footer out of your organisation? What does it do? What's the ripple effect for you and the business? That's the first question as an activity around your table. What's the effect if you lose a 6- or 7-footer out of your organisation? Grab your notes out around your tables. Start with the person who enjoyed their lunch the most. There's a big old ripple effect list. Let's go. So folks, just popcorn me, call out what's some of the ripple effects if you lose an amazing 6- or 7-footer out of your business. Call it out for me. Give me something. Culture. What about culture? Costly. Definitely costs money. What about culture, Peter? It can lower the culture, right? It can affect the culture. What else can happen, folks? Increase workloads for other people. Anybody had that where someone great's gone and the workloads had to spread to other people, so it can apply more pressure? What else? A loss of morale can happen, right? We talk about the 4 stages of learning: forming, storming, norming, performing. Every time we lose a team member, we go back to the forming stage again, right? It takes us back there. What else? Any other things? Loss of knowledge. There's a loss of knowledge out of the business when that happens. Huge thing when that goes and happens, right? So it's a radical effect, and a lot of the studies say, please write this down too, folks. The general consensus, and I've seen different numbers on this, but all the research I've done is that when we lose a good team member out of the business, the cost to the business is somewhere between 50 to 200% of their annual salary. That's what they say roughly is the cost to the business if you lose a good team member. So if there was a team member being paid $100,000 and we lost them, exit costs, while there's no productivity because no one's there, recruitment costs, onboarding costs, training costs, all of those type of things, it's somewhere between, 50 and 200 grand in that instance, right? And when I look at what are some of the indicators as to why 6- and 7-footers leave or would leave, right, outside of, pay and perks and all these type of things, and there's some very smart people on the planet in the HR space, Covey, Lencioni, if you've read any of his work, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, very, very good reading, that one. And they all agree that, please write this one down too, folks. They all agree this, that leadership behaviour is the greatest predictor of what? Leadership behaviour is the greatest predictor of what, everybody? Retention, right? So out of all the things, right, when it comes to, pay, perks, all these different things, what it often boils down to, according to the experts on the planet, is our ability to actually go and do leadership is what drives that whole piece. So I want to do, in this little hour here that I've got, I'd like to do a little piece on leadership. On leadership. So please grab a clean sheet of paper, folks, and draw this one up with me. And this is called, what's it called, everybody? Call it out for me. The leadership ladder, right? The leadership ladder. And it's interesting, like sometimes if we do the difference between leadership and management, leadership is sometimes can be a little bit more, it's future-paced versus management being more about KPIs and, what we're doing right now. But often, sometimes when we talk about leadership, it's a little bit more fluffy. Please write that word down on leadership. It can be a little bit more intangible. It's all this type of stuff. And one day, I'll never forget, Bruiser was in a boardroom and we were talking about leadership, and he went, you know what? Let's actually put a whole ladder here together on how we can do leadership better inside a business, right? So let me go through this leadership ladder. So the very first thing on the leadership ladder that starts at the top is a thing called what, everybody? What's it called? Vision, right? And what's the actual vision for the company? And really, it's the big picture. And let me write this word down here beside it. I'm going to say it's all about why does the company exist. It's the big picture why, right? And there's other people on the planet that explain this really, really well, and there's one person in particular who's very, very good at it. So I want to play a little quick video on this for those that have seen it. Some will have seen it, some will have not. So grab a pen out and let's play this video. You got me off?
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet, they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, And they didn't achieve powered man flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You ready to buy a computer from me? All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it is that you do? Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe. The goal is not just to hire people who need a job. It's to hire people who believe what you believe. I always say that, there's if you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. And nowhere else is there a better example of this than with the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pierpont Langley. And back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of powered man flight was like the dot-com of the day. Everybody was trying it. And Samuel Pierpont Langley had what we assume to be the recipe for success. I mean, even now, you ask people, why did your product or why did your company fail? And people always give you the same permutation of the same three things. Undercapitalized, the wrong people, bad market conditions. It's always the same three things. So let's explore that. Samuel Pierpont Langley was given $50,000 by the War Department to figure out this flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at the Smithsonian and was extremely well connected. He knew all the big minds of the day. He hired the best minds money could find, and the market conditions were fantastic. The New York Times followed him around everywhere, and everyone was rooting for Langley. And how come we've never heard of Samuel Pierpont Langley? A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright, they had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for their dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers' team had a college education, not even Orville or Wilbur. And the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orville and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by a purpose, by a belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it'll change the course of the world. Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And lo and behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood and sweat and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck. And they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out, they would have to take 5 sets of parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for supper. And eventually, on December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers took flight.
I love that. Who loves that video too, by the way? That Simon Sinek. My gosh, I love that video. So the whole thing here about why, it's like we've got to have, please write this down, the same thing that Dr. Alia was talking about, having a purpose for the person. Do we need to have a purpose for the business, folks? Yes or no? 100%, right? If I don't have something that I can attach to, that I can inspire to, and go and join onto, right? If I don't have that to go and work to as a team member, or as a client, or as somebody else that associates with the business, what am I going to make my decisions based upon? Whether I want to stay, based upon other things like pay and perks and things like that, if I'm not enrolled and inspired into what's going to be in the vision, right? And please write this down. If the vision is not strong enough, I can feel like a number. Please write that down. If the vision is not strong enough, I can just feel like a number, right? I've got to buy why you do it, not what you do. I want to buy why you do it, what not you do, not what you do. So, did I say that right? Did I? Or when did I do it? How did I, what did I do? You know what I mean. So folks, round your tables, I'm very interested in, please share around the tables. Actually, before we do that, before you do the sharing, take 90 seconds and document what is the vision for your company. The number one thing too that Simon Sinek says there that gets me is he said, I hope you latched into it, he said, it does not matter the size of your company. It does not matter. It doesn't matter the size of your company, the type of your company, that if we don't have a vision attached to the why, right, it's going to struggle. So take 90 seconds and please just write, what is the vision for your company? What is your vision statement for your business? Do 90 seconds on your own and have a think, is it what you do or why you do it? I'll give you a real quick little example before you do this, which is, I would say, one of the greatest examples I've seen. For those that know people called Matt and Ange Ryan, right? They're not here today. So Matt and Ange Ryan, long-term EBS clients. So they sell software for like nurse call software inside retirement villages and all this type of stuff. So when someone hurts themselves, they hit the recall button, right, to go and get nurse support. So they were doing this, and basically Matt was sent off on a mission to go and write, what is the vision for your company? And when Matt came back, his vision sounded something like to go and be the #1 nurse call software on the planet. Now, was that what they do or why they do it? Which one was that? What or why when they did that? It was what, wasn't it? And it was like, have a look at the video, Matt. Let's go and do that again. I need some why. Why do you do it? Why does the company exist? And his brain was hurting and he came back and he changed it, and I still love it. And he changed it from that, and the vision is now they're in the business of extending memories. That's now their vision. They're in the business of extending memories. And literally, they trotted off to Bupa and these other large companies having conversations around and redid all of their marketing, redid all of their the way that they were positioning themselves in the marketplace, and went and saw Bupa, and they're like, what are you all about? Well, we're here, we're in the business of extending memories. That's what we do, right? Getting people to stay longer. I would assume, Bupa, that's what you're in that same game too, right? And completely redesigned the whole way that the energy of the team and everybody in that business operates. So folks, 90 seconds on your own, and then I'll get you to share. Everybody, please write down, what is the vision of the company that you work for or own? Very good. I want a couple of those people on the mic. Let's go. If they pointed at you, come and share what your vision was. Let's go. James Taylor, they were pointing at you. Was it Martin? You're up. Come on, Martin. Let's hear it. Danny, I think we'll start down your end, my friend. Who are you? What's the business? Where are you from?
Thanks, Wado. Danny from Accountable Business Solutions. We're down in Victoria, but we spend a lot of time here on the sometimes sunny coast. Our vision, so we actually went through this with our team and got some ideas from them as well, probably about 2 years ago. So we're very much small business owners are the lifeblood of society, and we like to help them achieve their dreams. And that's why we do what we do.
Go again, Danny. Go closer to the mic.
Sorry?
Go again. Just say it a bit closer to the mic.
I can't get much closer. I'll have to lift it up.
Oh, you got to lift it up, right?
Is that all right? How are we going now?
Good.
Very good. So small business owners are the lifeblood of our society, so we like to help them achieve their dreams.
Yep.
So versus
Guys, would everyone
we could
say
go
that's
and work
what or
for...
how? Which one is it? It's a little bit of a blend, I reckon.
You know I like to blend things up, Wado.
What if you went, how could you turn that more why? The last little piece is why, right?
Yeah. I think we have a choice that we could go and work for big companies or big places. But small business owners in small towns or smaller parts of Australia, they employ your kids, they help people achieve everything they want in their lives. So we'd rather support them than bigger companies.
But that might be the why.
That was what I was sort of trying to say the first time. Maybe I didn't articulate that very well.
Say that piece. I'm buying that.
Yep.
I'm less buying the help small business owners, but I'm more buying why do we do it? We are facilitators of community growth or something like that, you know, and wealth growth. I buy that.
Thank
even
you.
more. Awesome. Give Danny a hand. Thank you, mate. Very nice. Jilly, how are you?
Good, thanks, Wade. I'm Jilly. I'm from Good to Eat Catering. And for me, if I have good food and with good people, I have their memories for life. So I've put, sorry, I'm going to have to bend that down a bit. I believe good food with good people is a perfect recipe for exceptional experiences that stay in our memories forever.
Love that. Stay in our memories forever. I'd agree with that. I really like that. Is that been your vision, or is this just what you created right now?
Well, that's kind of what I've just wrote down now, but I do believe that's why we do it.
Love it. Awesome. Give Jilly a hand. Well done. Thank you. Cool. Yes, ma'am. Well, we might only do a few on each, but we'll have to rattle through them. Let's do it real quick. Go.
Hi, I'm Megan from
Thanks,
All World
Megan.
Manufacturing. We've just read on ours, inspiring transformation and innovation throughout manufacturing and beyond.
Enough why in that, folks? Yes or no? I think we're still a bit what and how. Mm-hmm. What's the next stage past that? I'm going to say Megan in that one. I don't reckon we're quite there yet on the why.
Yep.
We're still a bit what and a bit how on that one. To go a bit further. Is it documented? Is your vision documented?
Yes.
That's the document, that's it? Okay, cool. I'd love to still tap in, because if you get the whole vision thing, you get there's a bit of a heart piece to vision very often. It's like there's some type of emotional connection often to it, like to this big picture thing. So, yeah. Cool. Thank you, Megan. Give her a hand. Well done.
Hello.
Who is that up there?
Cherie.
How are you, Sheree?
I'm good, thanks. I own a pole dance and burlesque studio in Lismore in New South Wales. Somehow I came to be here at this microphone by default. So the reason my why is I love seeing people's transformation through dance. Yep, it's a whole mind-body thing. And men and women, we have both who come to the studio.
So give it to me in a sentence, Sheree. How is it?
It's I like to see the transformation and how it affects their lives outside of like leisure time.
Yeah, right. So it's this transformation of their external life.
Yeah, it definitely filters into that aspect. Like the whole confidence thing, it's pretty, it might not sound like a lot, but I see it every term, every new lot of students that come through.
Yeah.
The change. If you can hang upside down and do some tricky things and you've got 8-inch heels on, you're pretty confident.
It's very cool.
Makes other stuff look easy, yeah.
Love it. I think tightening it up, Sheree, into one whole piece is great, but I love the word. You said a key word. What was the key word that you said?
The transformation.
Transformation. I'm like, that is so stunning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Give her a hand. Well done. Folks, I'm going to say we're only going to do one more person on each mic. My apologies, or we will not get through. So thank you to everybody who did stand up, though, if that's cool. I'll own that one. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Wado. Sharon from Regional Disability Expo here on the Sunshine Coast. Our vision is empowering individuals to make well-informed decisions.
Love that. Say it one more time for us.
Empowering individuals to make well-informed decisions.
Love it. Awesome. Give her a hand. I love that. Awesome. Well done. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name's Anthony from Multi-Trade Building Hire, and our vision's just to provide people with the best quality workspaces.
What do you think, folks? Are we what or why with that one? What's kind of the next stage of that one? We're a bit what on that one.
I don't know, it's pretty sort of grey and bland, our industry, so...
What do you do? You build, what do you build?
Transportable buildings, dongers, workspace accommodation, offices, toilets, lunchrooms.
What's yours, James? I heard you say yours. Can you stand up and shout out what your one is too?
Creating space that empowers our people to make creative solutions.
Okay, that whole thing didn't work because you're not on a microphone. Give James... I know. Go to the mic and quickly do it.
G'day, Wado. James, WA. Ours is creating a space that empowers our people to make creative solutions.
I love that. Because the thing that I love about that one, right, is when James says that, do I actually know what James does, yes or no? But does creating space for innovation and thinking and whatnot sound pretty cool, yes or no? Sounds very cool, yet I don't actually know what it is. There's nothing in there about James being a good engineer or a good cabinet maker or a good whatever or anything else, right? It's just that's the vision of the outcome. So I'd love to see kind of what if we tied into that, what's the outcome for people?
Yeah, the big one that came through from our team when we've had strategic planning sessions is the word quality. That's the main space that resonates in with our team.
Yep.
They're why we've got some other companies as well, and quality's the one that we've sort of extended through all the vision statements.
Yeah, which I like quality too, right? Because quality is you know, in the mission we do quality work to get there. I'm still like on the end user. What's the why for the end user? You know, or the why for everybody. I'd love to get a little bit of other kind of emotive stuff in there as well. Very cool. Well done. Give him a hand. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Wado. Aidan from Excellent Cleaning and Restoration in Orange.
Yes.
Ours is to help make people's home and work environments better, more livable, and to make them happy and proud of their environment, and also to raise the standard of the industry.
Right. What industry are you into, mate? Just to let everyone know.
We do carpet cleaning and restoration.
Yep.
Deal with like insurance works when, like we've been having storm damage, water damage, mould, remediation in people's houses, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get to actually make their house better than it was when we walked in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're also starting to sell cleaning supplies. So even that and educating the people who use them will make all that industry better.
I like that too, Aidan, although I'm still a bit on with that. I'm like, I just latched onto something that you said there, which is we make their lives better, you know, or we improve the value of their assets or extend like that type of thing. I reckon we could go even a step further than that.
Yep. Okay.
Awesome. Give him a hand. Well done. Thank you, sir. Lucky last.
Gosh. Sophie from Anna's. Our vision is to help women feel the most balanced, happy, healthy versions of themselves.
Love that.
Yep.
That is very cool. Who likes that as a vision too, by the way? Very cool. Well done. Give her a hand. Awesome. Becky, are you going?
Thank you. This is the ultimate room to have feedback from.
Great.
Our vision is to build bridges for business owners to evolve from running their business to creating their legacy with teams to reach their full potential.
Give it to me one more time.
To build bridges for business owners to evolve from running their business to creating their legacy with teams that reach their potential.
What do you think, folks? Why or what and how? What do you think? What do you think? Here or still down here a bit? It's a bit of a mix, right? It's good.
Missing something.
Kind of. I just want to go a bit further with it.
All right. That's our job on Tuesday, team.
Excellent. Give Beck a hand. Well done. So, folks, can you just do the screen for me for a sec? Thanks. So this is our vision too, folks, if you want to hand those out, team. Financial and social change. So if you go into the EBS office, this is what's up the front on the wall when you walk in. Financial and social change through skill and mindset transformation. What's the key word on there, everybody, too? Transformation. Has anybody, since they've joined EBS and been doing coaching, and this is a question for the people that have only been coaching, you know, for a year, but also for the people that have been coaching for 12 years plus, hands up, and please own this, if you know you've had some type of transformation in yourself. Hands right up if that's happened, right? Transformation's pretty cool. Please write this thing down about transformation too. The real cool part about transformation is it's very unpredictable. Please jot that down. It's very unpredictable. And the other cool part about transformation, this is what inspires me at EBS, is the cool thing about transformation is, please write it down, it's irreversible. It's what, everybody? You can't go back, right? You can't shift. There's nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it's going to become a butterfly. There's nothing about that. It's like it's so unpredictable. And there's also, can a butterfly go back and become a caterpillar again, folks? Yes or no? It can't do it, right? But that's what inspires. And you'll also see there's nothing on there that says anything about business coaching that says that we do that. So question, folks, to you as an activity when you get back is to go, is the vision truly inspirational to you and the clients and everybody on what you're doing with the business? The second little part here after vision is the what, everybody? Call it out. The mission, right? And this is all of more about the how that we do it, the how that you go and do it. So if you have a look, I just handed out two on a piece of paper. Everybody grabs one. Our mission statement there for EBS. Just have a read through it and pick out what's the word that stands out to you the most out of the mission statement, on that mission statement. Have a read through and call out what's the word that kind of hits you the most on that one. Call it out for me. Relentless, absolutely. What else? Strive. Excellence, isn't that a cool word? Right? Part of this is to do excellence. What else is a key word there? Absolutely. Commitment. Definitely commitment. Exceeds the other one, right? And it's interesting, when we do this, we go through this. So in our planning day that we just did, we pulled out all of this in the planning day, and we go through this literally word by word and revisiting this every 6 months, revisiting with the whole team. Is the mission still our mission, right? Is the mission statement still our mission? So the third one then, if I keep going down, is this thing called points of culture. What's it called, everybody? Points of culture. And what I'd say about culture is this is very much it's the glue in which it binds together, right? The culture of the company, it's the glue and all the different pieces that bind it together. Let me ask you this question. Is culture something that you can see normally, folks? Yes or no? Let me ask it a different way. Can you feel culture normally in a place? Yes or no? You can absolutely feel it, right? You can definitely feel how culture works when you come in, right? And the thing that I like about points of culture, because the other thing you could word this too is like value sets and, all this sort of stuff, but I really prefer having points of culture. For my brain, it works a bit easier having it all listed out as points, right, of culture as we go. But let me ask you this. This is a really important question to ask. Is culture hard to maintain in a business? Yes or no? Is it hard to live up to and do, this cultural kind of points of culture here all the time when you're in the business? Is it difficult to maintain that every minute of every day? Yes or no? It's bloody difficult, right? It's very difficult. In fact, some might say it's actually quite easy when any sailors in the room, right? I often think about, when the wind's at your back and the business is all going nice and easy and the wind's kind of blowing you along, it's a lot easier to maintain the culture and to adhere to the points of culture and go, I'm going to live by all the different points of culture, right? Is it more difficult, if I go down some of these things, is it more difficult when the wind's in our face and the water's a little bit choppy? Is that more difficult? Way, way more difficult. And in fact, I'd get you to write this down too. True culture in a business is how people behave when no one's watching. True culture is how people behave when nobody's watching. We went through this at our planning day last week, or a couple of weeks ago when we did our planning day. We literally pull out all of our points of culture and we go through them one by one with the whole team, right? And we had this big, long conversation on are all of our points of culture still relevant for this company, right? Are they still applicable, right? So it'd be like you doing it with your business, going and saying to the team, are we still happy to play this way? Are these all still relevant? Do we need to add any extra ones in there? And in fact, I think when the points culture were first created, there was only 9 on there. It might have even been 7, I can't recall, but it's that over the years they've added and went to 9 and then went to 11. And then it was only a few years ago where someone said, you know what, you do all this great charity work, why is contribution not as a point of culture? So it got added on as another point of culture there as we go along, right? So question for you folks is, on points of culture, is who does have documented points of culture in the business? Who's got that at the moment? Who does not have that? Where if you do not, right? Because some of this stuff too, if you're early into the coaching journey, this whole thing might need a proper overhaul for you to really look at the vision, the mission, the points of culture, all this type of stuff. You might need to do a big overhaul of it as we go. If you've been around the block a few times and it's been going for a while, it might be great timing to go and do some more deeper diving on it, some distinctions, right? So my question on points of culture around the table is this. Once you've got it, how do you implement it into the business? How do you spread the culture into the fabric of the business? How are you going to do that? Because it's one thing to go and create a list. It's another thing to go, how do I actually get that culture into the business? Right? It's cool to have it on a piece of paper and then show it to somebody when they first start. But how do you, as a business, how do you get it in there and maintain it and drive the culture? Right? Everybody clear on the question? It's like, what do you do? How do you keep that flowing? So round your tables, this is an open conversation, right? And really bear down on it, because this is a hugely important one, is how do you maintain and drive the culture in the business? Let's go start with the person with the least amount of hair. They're my favourite people, so we'll start back there again. Keen to hear from 1 or 2 people on each mic. Let's go. If you've not spoken yet today, this is a good opportunity for you to jump up. How are you going to inject the culture into the fabric of the company? Let's go, folks. 1 or 2 people each mic. If you've not spoken, jump on up. This is a good time. I will volunteer people. Let's go. That if you, back at school, if you kind of looked at somebody's work on the desk at school and you were caught, what was that called at school, everybody? Cheating, right? When we start owning businesses, what do we call it in business? Market research, right? So this is a great opportunity to get a little bit of market research on how other businesses do this well, right? Because my illusion is, this is just my illusion, is this is out of all the different aspects of business, financial, sales, marketing, admin, my illusion over my 20 years of coaching is this is one of the parts where businesses struggle, is the ability to really drive high-level culture into the business, right? So this is a key one to really latch onto. So we might start, who was first up? Was that you, Jimmy?
Jonty, yep.
Jonty, so it's Jonty. It is Johnny. I can't see for the lights. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. We had some good chat actually around our table about what all we all sort of do something a little bit different. But The thing I try to do with my team on, like I was saying, just for instance, this week I've had a couple of days off and they've been carrying the workload a fair bit, and obviously it's been a really hot week, so I always just try to send like a text tonight just saying how grateful I am, and like I might send them the reviews that I get on Google and stuff, and yeah, that's just one little way that we sort of try to do it, just to keep the morale up. You don't have to go spend thousands of dollars on bonuses and stuff. Just a little text message. Yeah, I picked that up from somewhere I used to work years ago, and it always just makes you feel nice on a Friday eve when you knock off and you're having a beer and the boss man texts you and says, "Good job."
I love that.
Yeah.
And how do you? Is that from you to them? Is that how it works, or is it anybody in the company does it to anybody?
No, just me
That's
directly.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
And is that? I love that too, Johnny. Too, right? Gratitude. So,
Yeah.
100%. If we looked at everybody's flippins in the room, there'd be a whole bunch of people who would love to receive a pat on the back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it goes a long way.
So I get that. Is it a question for you too? Do you do that as a system? Like, is there what's the reminder that you do that, so it's not like, I forget it, or it's got to be a hot day? Is there a system attached to it?
No, not really. I just I can sort of get a bit of a vibe from the boys when it's been a big week.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not every week, because obviously it'd just be like, they'd probably look at it as like, oh, here comes the automated text. But
yeah.
Yeah, which actually, that's not a bad little idea too.
It's not really where I was going with it, but anyway. But I love it. But you show the way you do it is you do gratitude text.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Give Johnny a hand. Thank you, my friend. Hello, mate.
G'day, I'm Scott from Highlight Blinds in Bendigo. Our table came up with some good points. Probably one was have your points of culture somewhere they can be seen and referred to.
Yeah, so making them visual.
Exactly.
Right? Whereabouts do you put them? Where are they?
Well, that wasn't my answer because I currently don't have them anywhere. but it's something that I thought was a great idea. Have them on the wall in the office or wherever so you can actually refer to them.
Yeah, I love that. So please write that down, folks. It's got to be visual. Right? They have to be visual. And even on that one too, are you thanking your table for that idea? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Excellent, good idea. Like even from the visual aspect, one of the things that we do at EBS, right, with all of our points of culture, you all know that we use this amazing technology called Voxer, that everybody loves too, I might add, but we use this technology called Voxer. So we have groups in there, and then not only just to have it visual, but we will have people that we film every couple of weeks. A team member comes and does a 60-second video on what's the point of culture that they're most in touch with and why. And then we share that out to the whole team, and it's like this constant coming out to keep it right, keep it current with us. So I love that.
That's cool.
Awesome. Give them a hand. Well done. Yes, sir. Who are you? Where are you from? What's the business?
Hey, Wade. I'm Dean from MF Martial Arts. We've got schools all over the coast and also down towards Brisbane and just recently up in Townsville as well. Our actual biggest challenge this year has been culture because we've inherited a second team that already had their pre-existing culture and then trying to sort of meld them into our way of life and way of thinking, I guess. We've tried various things to work on that, and we've found that some of the ones that a lot of people fall into, like your, company barbecues and that sort of stuff, and I think one of the people on my table mentioned it as well, is they can come across as very sort of forced and synthetic, that kind of thing. So we've tried a few different approaches, and the big one we've got recently that's been working for us is we've got a group chat for shared wins. So it doesn't matter how big, how small, work-related or not, people throw it in there, and then everyone gives them the little congratulations and that sort of thing. But that's been a really good one for morale and moving people to sort of our way of positivity and all that.
I love that. And have you seen that? Like, have you seen some shifts in that by doing
definitely.
that shared?
100%, yeah. And we've also found that, which has been quite interesting, is our new team, our second team is made up of a younger crowd of sort of like older teens and early 20s, that kind of thing, and then the sort of, I'd like to say older generation, the 40s and 50s and that kind of thing. And the younger ones are really on board, and they are quite easy to adapt into our ways. And the older ones are either adapting or they're stuck in their way and then they leave. So it's been an interesting thing to watch, but it's good people challenge.
I love it. How tight are you to, and this is a question for everybody in the room, but how tight are you on, when you've got new people come into the organisation and you're building that culture, how tight are you on like people's behaviours of maintaining the culture? Like if you see someone kind of stepping outside of the point of culture of what you want, how do you manage that?
100%, yeah. We're actually working on one of those at the moment. I believe my wife mentioned that earlier, who's not really following the points of culture, and the lady in question is going to get some talking to in the next week or so. But yeah, we're always having sort of team catch-ups and reinforcing our vision and what we want everyone to do. So, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Give Dean a hand. Thank you. Well done.
Christy from Coastal Lawn Solutions. So we did a 90-day planning toolbox talk, and we actually had a flip chart, and we actually had all the team give us words that meant value to them, and then we collectively came back a week later, put together those core values, and now that's our core values, and we'll review them each quarter.
Love that. So that you got the team together to help build that whole piece.
So they've built that, and the purpose of that was that if anything falls outside that, we refer it back to, well, these are all words of input that you guys gave us. So it's more accountability.
I love that. Please write that down, getting the team involved in the decision making. They take ownership on it. Love that. Give Christy a hand. Thank you. Very nice.
Taking notes. I am Rhiannon from Lawson's Butchery in Mitchell. We've done a few things because obviously we are in a succession process, so the in-laws were a very old way of work and team, or staff they called them. So we did a whole new onboarding booklet for everyone, even if they'd been there before, as in this is us now and this is how we're going to roll, with all of the points of cultures listed in that onboarding booklet, so they knew moving forward this is how the culture will be because it needed fixing. We have a weekly team meeting, and every week we have a point of culture of the week, and it gets blown up and laminated and stuck to the wall, and each week we talk around that point of culture. We also do whiffles, which helps with keeping the culture and morale up so that everyone knows where everyone is at. And we talk lots about the point of culture in our team reviews as well. They get mentioned a lot in there about what our values are, and you guys are on board with what our vision is and where we're heading. So.
I love that. So you've got multiple points in there, right, the whole way along.
Yeah.
Right? Let me ask you this question. Whose responsibility is it to infiltrate the culture into the business, do you think?
I guess sometimes it starts with leadership, but then once that word is hanging up there, they all seem to talk around it and all get amongst it. So
love that.
Everyone, I guess.
Please write that down, folks. It's everybody's responsibility to do culture in the company. It is every team member's responsibility to do culture. All right? If you have a team member or somebody in the business and there's somebody else beside them and they're not following the culture of the company that you want, right? And if I don't say anything, right, and I stay silent, it means I'm accepting of that.
And even our young guys now like that, we wouldn't have thought would have even cared or taken any notice. Like they pull each other up now because they're like, our words communication this week, did you communicate that? And like they're actually aware of what's going on and using it themselves. So
beautiful. Give her a hand. Well done. Last couple. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Wado. In our company, it's about little rituals on a regular basis. So not that we're by any means the leaders in culture, but there's some really cool stuff that we do that is probably worth sharing. That employee that came through to replace the customer service person, she volunteered for 3 weeks to actually take over that role. She'd done an internship with us and loved the company so much, she was happy to volunteer the time to take over. We do little rituals like throw a compliment to someone in the team, but you're only allowed to throw one and you can't dilute it across to anybody else. It has to be a very direct compliment, which is a little bit uncomfortable when someone doesn't get one, but it actually highlights what we want to see within the company from each other, so the team are directing that to whoever they wish. If someone's late to a meeting, they have to sing to the team.
Ooh.
But it's fun, right? We can have a little bit of a laugh about it, but it also creates a culture where they don't want to be late because they know the consequence. So just outlining these things in a fun way, I guess.
That's very cool. I love that a lot.
Murmuring.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Give her a hand. Well done. Awesome. Lucky last.
Okay, so I work for Anna's, which is a natural hormonal balance cream. And I think real connection is really key in creating a great culture across the workplace. We're all primarily women who work in the company together, so it's a very real thing for us all to talk about on a day-to-day basis, which makes it really, normalised within us, and our culture is, really special because of that, and we all have an extra level of connection which we can share with our customers as well, which is really awesome.
Love it. And it sounds like it's something that's very present inside the team, like it's spoken about. It's not anything that's shied away on, right?
100%.
Love that. Awesome. Give her a hand. Well done. Thank you. So, folks, points of culture. Next one. Rules of the game. Rules of the game. And I just handed out another document on rules of the game. We do rules of the game when we start here every day at every event. That's our public rules of the game. But I just handed out a big A3. That's actually our internal team rules of the game. That one. That's the one that we use internally with us as a team. And it was only literally 2 weeks ago in our last planning session that we added an extra rule onto this one, which is Rule 16. We added integrity onto that whole piece, where we're like, we want to know that the rules are what we say we're going to do, we are going to do as a team. And to really strengthen that, we went, let's actually add integrity as a rule of the game into our whole piece. And can you see too on this one, what else is down the bottom right-hand side of that document, everybody? It is a signature, right? So the rules of the game, points of culture are the glue. What we say is rules of the game are the applicator on how to go and apply those, right? How to actually go and apply those into the business. Second last one. Is what everybody call that one out, it is? Common goals. So then now that we know what our culture is, what our goals, what our rules of the game are, common goals, where we're going to go and head as a business. The thing that I love about common goals is they apply to, who in the business do they apply to? When you do a common goal for the business, it applies to everybody, right? For those that are old enough, I still love this analogy of when we went off to the Gulf War. Remember when you went off to if anyone was around, not that I want to bring war into the room, but what was the mission of the Gulf War? The mission was to what? Anybody old enough to remember it? Get Saddam Hussein. That was the whole mission of the Gulf War, right? We're going to go and get Saddam. And it didn't matter who you spoke to, like which country, which unit, they were all had their own little part to play, but they were all off to go and do the same common goal. And so I'd call this the GPS, right, on where it is that we're actually heading on that. And if you go and have a look on Common Goal, if you have a look at the big picture document that we do, the whole big picture document with KPIs and critical drivers, you'll notice that on the top of the big picture template is what? The common goal of the company. It goes and sits there, right? So one of the questions I love coming into a company is saying to the team and going, what's the common goal of? Insert the business name. What's the common goal for this particular year? And I would also recommend on that one that if you're creating a common goal, I would probably not put a common goal down to go and create a certain amount of net profit for yourself. I'm going to say it won't be super inspiring for the team if that's the goal that you put out there, right? So you might put like for us, it's a common goal on how many people we're going to support, how many lives we're going to change this year. That's kind of the type of thing that we're going off to do with common goal, right? And the last one is, what is the plan, right? How are we going to go and execute that? So it's like all of the major and minors, if you like, associated with that. So how are we going to go and execute that whole piece? And if the common goal is the GPS, I would say the plan is the roadmap on how to go and do that. So this whole piece, folks, on leadership, when I look at it, vision, mission, culture, the rules of the game, how I'm going to play, who knows that that they actually need to do a little bit more strengthening on this part of the business. Be honest, who knows they haven't done enough on this space yet. Awesome. So round your tables, folks, on this, when I finish on this, is what do you need to do when you leave here today to strengthen this whole leadership part of the business, right? What do you need to go and do to implement this better? What processes, where have you got to go and do some work on this whole piece?